Dr. Charlie Rouse, and I'd like to introduce you to the world of B12 technology. By the way, if you swallow your B12, not so much use, but if you sublingual, that means melted in your cheek like a chipmunk, or let it dissolve under your tongue like candy, or in your mouth, then you got something more than the usual. And what happens is B12 is very proactive when it meets its first and second cousin. One is called folic acid, and the other is called pyridoxine, or pyridoxal 5-phosphate. They better abbreviate that B6. Nobody would ever remember that. But when you got B6, woo, I guarantee you. Here's the neat thing, ladies. B6 is God's gift to women. Every hormone in the female body is behavable with B6. Every hormone in the female body is unruly without B6. But the reason they put these together is because they're now learning from people who die of heart attacks and people who have Alzheimer's dementia. They have a problem called homocysteine. Homocysteine. It's like the gummy bears of the arteries, the gummy bears of the brains. But guess what? B6, folic acid, and B12 lower homocysteine levels. So it's a good protective barrier, isn't it? Nobody wants to go down the road of dementia. And whenever we take homocysteine out, whenever we began to work on the homocysteine levels, they did the clinical research for homocysteine at Harvard University School of Medicine. Pretty prestigious, isn't it? And you know, we find that the nerve and the blood vessels, they can become intoxicated. In other words, homocysteine becomes a toxin to the nerve and the blood vessel. When that happens, the body degenerates. And nobody wants to lose a good blood vessel because, hey, strokes are killers. Heart attacks are killers. And when we can look after a healthier blood vessel because we remove homocysteine, B12, B6, folic acid, simple as that, then we're on the way to recovery. And we find that people that are B12 deficient, they usually complain of sensory loss. They don't smell things like they ought to smell. They can't taste things like they ought to taste. But usually they're tactile. They can't feel like they used to feel. And a lot of these people have pins and needle sensations in the fingertips and in the toes and in the feet. And when those things become unsensorized, they say, can you give me back sensory perception? Can I see color better? Can I hear the octaves and the decibels on a more proficient tone? That's a good thing. B12 controls the muscle ataxia. If your muscle is ataxic, you're not going to walk smoothly and you're going to sort of bump in the road. A lot of people with Parkinson's disease are B12 deficient, and as a result, they don't walk as well. Obviously, if B12, the first symptom of B12 usually is a muddled thinking, and people with true dementia, we're talking about a senior citizen, oh man, isn't it neat when they don't have Alzheimer's and it was only B12 deficient? We can perk them up like that by giving them back their B12. Every cell in the human body replicates with B number 12. And guess what? The fastest replicating cell in the whole human body is the colon. Yeah. And if a senior citizen is B12 deficient, not only are they going to show me signs and symptoms of dementia, they're going to show me diarrhea almost on a regular daily basis because their colon is not replicating, healing like it should. The two are connected here, B12 deficiency. They don't need more Pepto-Bismol, they don't need more kaopectate, they don't need Imodium, they need B12. And when I give them B12, they think clear and their diarrhea stops. So sometimes the head and the colon are all connected. I like B12 because I can put a B12 under my tongue and improve my concentration level immediately. It's like zippity doo-dah. The ability to be mentally alert and more concentrating begins to happen on a faster basis. A lot of people who are B12 deficient are lacking that little plastic around the nerve that's called the myelin sheath. like in multiple sclerosis, those patients are, their myelin sheath is not forming properly. I guarantee you, every multiple sclerosis patient, B12 deficiency, not the cure, but definitely a necessity. And anytime you can speed the conduction of the power of the nerve ability to talk one to the other, things happen. Now we go along in the world of prescription drugs, and goodness gracious, I ask people, do you take a prescription drug? And you know, there's a lot of people out there that take pills for heartburn. It's almost like they take a pill so they can eat whatever they want. But guess what? Every heartburn relieving prescription medication, including the over-counter stuff like Prilosec, they diminish the body of B12. So what am I saying? Yeah, enjoy your heartburn free, no more GERD, no more esophageal reflux. But listen, if you don't take B12, you're going to cause your brain to be mush. And I don't want you to become dementia because of a prescription drug or an over-the-counter drug. B12 must be used with every proton pump inhibitor, with every dose of Tagamet or Zantac or Pepcid. You've got to do it, utilize it. And anytime you come down in your life and you're B12 deficient, you're not going to sleep well at night. So if you know somebody who is restless in the evening and they're not getting a full night, I like what I got sleep, you better try B number 12, because B12 controls a major hormone in the brain called melatonin. And when melatonin is down, you can't dream like you ought to dream, and the REM, rapid eye movement sleep, and the delta rhythm sleep just won't be there. So B12 gives you energy in the daytime, make you smarter than a whippersnapper, and help you sleep better at the nighttime. Hey, do you know any shift workers? Talking about those out to work from the dark till the daylight. B number 12. Give it to them when they go to work. They'll work better and they'll sleep better during the daytime. B number 12. If I were to ask you, what's the most common nutrient deficiency in the whole world market? What is it? And it's B number 12. B number 12. They're not getting it in their food. They're not absorbing it nor assimilating it in their vitamins. B12, because it needs to be sublingual. So quickly, reversedly or understandably, what is B12? Memory, better, powerful arteries, better, cleaner, healthier nerves. Can anybody use it? Probably everybody ought to use it, B12. And what's unique about ours, we put folic acid and B6 with it so that we can make it the best of the best.